And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Miss Lisa. Oh, ready. Oh.
Look at that, even before the show starts.
Ooh.
Woo!
Wow.
Wow.
We're going to need a lot of sand today.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Somebody fill this thing up over here.
I don't think so today. I hope not.
I
Anyway,
don't think
right?
so. It's a one-pager today, Tom.
It's a one-page
Yeah.
agenda today. So, yeah.
Very light on the questions.
You know what? It's hot outside.
That's
so
it.
that makes us want to not have to be a long show today, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
You know, that reminds me, too. We're down to one sheet. That's how much toilet paper I have left. I'm going to have to go by the store later
Oh,
on.
boy.
Yeah.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh, boy. Well, good thing we had a toilet paper pitcher today.
Yes.
Yes.
I think they had some extra toilet paper. Maybe they could give it to you.
They were wrapped in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cute.
It was cute.
Big waste of toilet paper, but it was cute.
Yes, that's true.
Wow, this mic seems like it's really
I
overpowering.
was going to say,
me.
you seem really bold today.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be, but it just seems to be very overpowering to me.
That Michelle,
I've been told I have
she's taking care of you.
I have a new box today, so we're trying a new box today. So.
You need a message that has that same gravitas.
Yes, as the river churns. You know, I got to do it deeper now because I've got a bigger box here.
Bigger box.
Okay.
No comment, Clan.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
We're a little punchy today.
We are punch, and it's not even Friday. Usually we get punchy on
not.
Fridays.
No,
And I've not been drinking. I don't know about you all, but I've not been.
we haven't been either.
Well, not since I've been to work, anyway.
What you do at home stays at home.
I'm drinking right now. See, I'm drinking water right
There
now,
you go.
so. Okay, so we have a trivia question today.
We do.
And if for somebody new, somebody has never turned in a trivia question before, right?
We're back to a good old favorite, John Hoyt.
Oh, John Hoyt. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Yep.
course.
We got to rotate back to him. He has some great trivia questions. And we're going to do a Target gift card today.
A Target gift
Brian will be delivering that later today, and he's probably hoping it's inside winter because it is hot out there.
Yes.
So he'd like to stay in the air, but you never know, Brian.
So I'm hoping for an outside winner today.
And the good news is if the Target card doesn't work, you can just go in and loot whatever you don't.
Oh,
Ken.
I'm sorry.
Ken. I thought we weren't going there.
I'm protesting that comment. That's all I'm going to say.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The trivia question.
Quickly, Lisa.
Okay. What was the original name of Vaseline?
Vaseline.
What was the original name of Vaseline? Okay, the line is open. 336-389-4103. And Michelle has not run out of the room yet.
No.
I thought this one might be really easy, like too easy.
Yeah.
I guess it's not. Oh, she's running out of the room.
She's going out of the room. Okay,
But
that's a good sign.
Keep calling in
I
because
guess.
that person might be wrong.
Yes. You never know, right?
Okay.
Okay, let's do the coronavirus statistics for today.
Okay.
So I think they keep changing their makeup of their report.
Do they?
It's getting harder and harder to actually print it out, right, like the way we used to, and get it all on one page. But
I think it's new and improved, though, is what they said.
well, apparently, it does have a lot more information on it.
Okay.
But anyway, so as of today, North Carolina has completed 449,263 tests. That's 27,000 tests more than what it was on Monday. So
Wow.
they are really cranking out the tests. I'll say that much. Since Monday, let's put it this way. Out of that 449,263, 30,777 of those were confirmed positive cases. That's an increase of 1,514 since Monday. So, and I forgot to do a percentage of that to see what that is, but that is probably about 5.5% to 6%, just looking at it roughly. And overall, we're at 30,777 positive cases in the state out of the 449,000 total. That's 6.8%. So we've dropped back down a little bit below that 7% mark, kind of where we were trending before. Unfortunately, we've had 41 additional deaths since Monday. We're at 939 total deaths in the state. Hospitalizations went up a little bit from Monday. We were at 650 on Monday. We're at 684 today. So, kind of that new norm seems to be right around that 650 to 750 mark, where we were more like, before we were kind of more of that 550 to 650 mark. So we're starting to maybe see a trend back down on, and that's what we hope to see, right? Hospitalizations.
Right.
So we'll see if that's the case. Okay, and then the individual counties. I went back and looked at the counties again just to see what counties were over 1,000 cases, and that's what we've been kind of reporting on. Well, Wayne County, we haven't been talking about Wayne County, but Wayne County has gone up over 1,000 cases. Excuse me, they're at 1,188 cases as of today. But the big one in the state, of course, is still Mecklenburg County. They're at 4,670 cases. That's 258 cases more than what it was on Monday. The next biggest is Wake County at 1,894, 121 cases more since Monday. Durham's close behind at 1,774, 114 cases more than Monday. And then Forsyth is next, believe it or not, at 1,486 cases. That's 103 more than what it was on Monday. And then Guilford is 1,382, and that's 94 cases more since Monday. So, seeing the trend in Guilford, I'm hoping I'm not going to jinx this here, but I'm seeing the trend in Guilford to be a little less than these other counties. I hope that kind of continues for us, to be quite honest. That'd be good. And then, just talking about nursing homes and residential care facilities, 4,209 positive cases as of today. That's 134 more than where we were on Monday. And that percentage is 13.7% of the total positive cases. And I think the good news about that is we're starting to see that percentage drop. We were running 15% for a long time, so 13.7 is a lot less. And I'm not sure what that exactly means, but it's less. So I'm taking that as a positive sign. And then, unfortunately, we've had 25 more deaths in the nursing homes and residential care facilities since Monday. We're 565 total out of the 939, and we have been steady on that 60% mark since we started reporting this. I think it's been 60%. So, not seeing a whole lot of change there. I'd love to see that percentage go down as well. And then just how many outbreaks there are in nursing homes and residential care facilities. We're at 137 today. We were at 136 on Monday. So just one additional one that have 2 or more outbreaks on there. So, and you can find all of this information if you're interested in looking at this yourself. If you don't have if you have computer access to this, internet access, you can look it up under North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and it's called the dashboard there. And you can get in. They have all kinds of graphs and charts and different kinds of things in there. And so it's pretty interesting for those, especially those that like statistics. It's pretty interesting to look at this. But that is our statistics for today for coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lisa, what else do we have under coronavirus or just update type things?
Well, it's always good to keep educating about the 3 W's, Tom.
Yes.
So you and I have been kind of preaching that.
Right.
If you're out and about in the common areas here, or if you do leave property and are out in the public area, wearing your mask, waiting the 6 feet, and washing your hands.
Yeah.
So we just want to continue to educate on that.
Yeah.
That's your best defense.
Yeah. And, not that you can rank them or prioritize them, but wearing your mask, to me, is the most important thing you can do.
Absolutely.
Because we know it's in the air. The CDC has kind of said that it's mostly more droplets than it is contact. So wearing your mask, to me, makes the most sense. Do all 3 W's, but
sure.
That one is really important to be able to do that.
Let's see, a message from Whitney.
Okay.
If you use Instacart just a reminder, make sure to put your actual personal address on the form. So when you're filling out Instacart, it's no longer the clubhouse address, or it's not just 1575 John Knox anymore. You're putting your address. You want to make sure your apartment number's in there, or it's your street address, because if you do live outside, they will deliver directly to your homes.
Right.
But if you live inside, they need to make sure that they have your apartment number. We've had a few groceries come in, and it might be, this is for Jane,
Yeah.
somewhere here on campus. So if we have multiple of the first name, it's a little bit harder to figure that out.
Right.
So if you could help us with that, make sure you put your personal address in.
Yeah, that'd be good to be
Yeah.
able to do that.
Also,
How are we doing on our dining venues, Lisa?
we are doing super. I mean, this is only day 3 at lunch.
Yeah.
So we are doing super. Our employees are just so happy to be back serving you all again and to be able to interact with you all. They have missed that, and I hope you all have missed that too. But they are just so excited to be able to visit with you all and all that good stuff. And they just want to say thank you for coming back and seeing them again and your patience with them. Like I said, it is day 3, and we kind of are treating this like a soft opening. We went from the batch cooking all of a sudden back to a la carte again, restaurant style. So that's a whole different way of delivering services. So thank you for hanging in there with us and understanding it's soft opening time. So, but it's been going very well.
Yeah, we've been hearing some nice feedback
We've
from
had
residents
some great
about
feedback.
how excited they are to be back in
Yes,
the
yes,
in the restaurants
absolutely.
again. So yeah,
So just great to hear that.
Did Howie the hog picture make it back to the dining room?
it did.
Yes,
good.
Back,
yes.
back in its normal
Now,
place.
they've been serving angry pig tacos at lunch,
Yeah.
Oh,
but Howie's not one of those angry pigs.
Well, he probably is, but that's okay.
We have abused him. I guess he has every right to
He has every right. Yes, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There is one more, Lisa, last minute type update that I wanted to share with the residents today, and we'll have some more information coming out about this. But
Okay.
you all might remember we had a meeting about some of this, or it was part of my update meeting back in late fall, early winter, and that was in regards to sales tax on our monthly service fees, and that North Carolina was looking at as a potential for charging sales tax on our monthly service fees for our residents, and that would be a huge impact on our residents. So I think we mentioned at the time, I think I even had Tim Webster here talking about some of this at that time, that our trade association, Leading Age North Carolina, was working behind the scenes. We had said at that point that we don't want residents to do anything about that yet because we're still working behind the scenes. But let me give a quick update about that, and I'm going to kind of read this from our trade association desk. This is our president and CEO of the Leading Age North Carolina Trade Association for us. He said, yesterday, the Senate and House Finance Committee invited Leading Age North Carolina, again, that's our trade association, to make a 10-minute presentation on the sales tax issue. During our time, which actually he has in here in parentheses, was expanded to 20 minutes, we provided context on the genesis of the new interpretation of CCRCs as retailers and focused our discussion on a refutation? How do you say that? Refutation? Of the Department of Revenue's interpretation that they say requires sales tax on certain items. So, so we did, our trade association did a presentation, and the goal during the presentation for Leading Age was, and this is what their work has been throughout the issue, has been pretty straightforward. They have asked the General Assembly for a pause in implementation of the tax until January 1 of 2022, when we will have a better idea of the health, financial, and administrative toll this pandemic has taken on our member community. So that's how apparently that's our talking points with them. And also, this will give the General Assembly time to study this issue in depth. He says we owe, this was again part of the presentation, we owe it to our residents and the CCRCs that they live in to recognize the burden placed on them by the current pandemic and the imposition of this new tax. So under next steps from our trade association, they're saying we are continuing to work with Senate and House leadership and rank and file members to press our case for a pause in the implementation of the tax. Work this week and next will be crucial to our chance of success. And so then it says what you and your residents can do right now. And this says is important for us residents and staff alike to reach out to our elected officials to thank them for their continuing attention to this issue and to encourage them to support our request for a grace period when the issue comes before them. And so we know that we need to get to our North Carolina State Senator that represents our district, which is 27 here, and that's Michael Garrett. So we'll put out some information on CareMerge and maybe put something in everybody's box and asking you to make some contact, encouraging our state senator here for District 27 to be supportive of our request for this grace period. So we'll have more about that, but I just wanted to kind of share that update. This is a big deal. You're talking about sales tax on monthly service fees. That's a lot of money, additional money that the residents will end up having to pay, and we don't want that to happen. So we'll give you some more information. We'll kind of put that out there for you all so that you know exactly who to call. We'll give you a phone number or contact or an email address or whatever, and we'll try and have that out by the end of the day tomorrow for you so that you can have that information. And we would appreciate any help, obviously, that you can give by making this phone call or sending this email to Michael Garrett. Okay.
Very good.
I wanted to be able to kind of share that because that's kind of hot news.
Sure.
Okay, do we have any questions, Lisa?
We have one question.
Just one question?
Yes.
We did so good explaining things on Monday.
We had a lot of questions.
We did have a lot of questions on Monday.
Yes. Okay, the one question is, what streets are incorporated in McFadden Village at River Landing, and where did the name come from? Why did we choose that name?
Okay.
So I called my friend and resident here, Dorothy Allen.
She is our historian.
She is our historian,
Yes,
so I want to give a shout out to Dorothy. Thank you for your help with this question. The streets, of course, that are incorporated in McFadden are Hayes Short, Niblick, and Thistleburn. So that's the areas and that's kind of our upper village up there.
Right.
As you come in on John Knox. And the name, Dr. McFadden, who was a minister, was one of the starters of the Presbyterian Home in High Point, along with R. Murphy Williams, who was a minister at Church of the Covenant in Greensboro. So they were two of the founders that really got our organization going.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And both of these men's portraits are hanging in our library. So if you'd want to check that out, swing by the library and you'll see them prominently on the wall as you walk in.
Yeah, and R. Murphy Williams is what Williams Village was named after.
Yes.
So it's McFadden Village and Williams Village. That's where those originated from, was those two gentlemen.
So that was a great question.
Yeah.
Yes.
And most of you probably know Pleasance Village came from Bill Pleasance, who is now retired CEO for Presbyterian Homes. He was the CEO for, 25 years maybe? Something like that?
Yes.
Maybe more than that?
I think that sounds...
Something like that.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was a good question.
It was.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, send your questions in. We'll take them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We may not always answer them correctly, but we'll
Yeah. I think the good news is that 50% of our answers are correct.
Yes.
The bad news is we don't know which 50%.
Well, Ken, I didn't introduce you as a guest today because, you know what, I don't think you really are a
You're
guest
just a regular.
anymore. So
That's right.
There's no reason to introduce you as a guest anymore, but we're always happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. And one time when Lisa and I were together, we were looking for wisdom on how to deal with difficult times from strange places. And I thought today we might find some wisdom in famous Yogi Berra quotes.
Of course.
Yogi Berra, the former player and coach and manager of the New York Yankees, known as such a wise, just almost a savant, just brilliant. and said some amazing things that even now people don't understand them, but we might try, especially when we have time in our homes these days, to contemplate them deeply. When you come to a fork in the road, take it, for instance. Which I think expresses exactly what happened. We came to a fork in the road a few weeks ago, and we had to take it. We didn't have a choice.
No,
We didn't
that's
have a
true.
choice.
Yep.
And it wasn't saying which way was the best way to go, right?
It
wasn't left or right.
We
It
just
was
took the whole
We
damn
just
thing.
took it.
Yogi also famously said, you can observe a lot by just watching.
Yes, you can.
And I have been observing here. Have you been observing?
Oh, yes.
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 We have seen interesting things.
We have.
Yes.
Good and bad.
We might do a show segment about that sometime.
Oh.
The strange things that have happened
Oh, boy.
at River Landing.
Like, we could write a book on that
Yeah,
one,
we
I
could.
think.
Baseball is 90% mental, and the other half is physical. So Yogi was a real statistician like you are, Tom.
I love it.
Yes. Always go to other people's funerals, otherwise they won't come to yours.
Oh, my gosh.
Which is why so many people come to memorial services here. Well, used to, before when we had them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, Yogi famously said, you better cut the pizza in 4 pieces because I'm not hungry enough to eat 6.
Jeez.
I never heard that one before.
No.
So is there like a book on this stuff? Or?
Yeah, there might be. I don't know. He also famously said the future ain't what it used to be. Which I know there's some wisdom about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You've got to be very careful if you don't know where you're going because you're liable to get there.
There's a true statement.
He was asked, remember when we had streakers? Remember that
Oh,
fad way back when?
Lisa's
Yes.
too young, but you know, you
70s
and I
or 80s.
remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, so apparently that had happened at the baseball park. And so Yogi was asked whether the streakers were men or women. He said, I don't know, they had bags over their heads. Well, that's how we know he was concentrating on the baseball.
That's right.
Apparently.
Yes. Yogi also said, I'm not going to buy my kids an encyclopedia. Let them walk to school like I did. I'm not sure how long Yogi actually walked to school. Maybe not long enough.
I don't know, but I bet it was uphill both ways.
I bet it was uphill. In the snow. He one time stayed at a nice hotel when they were away for a game, and he said, the towels were so thick in that hotel, I could barely close my suitcase.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Little League Baseball is a very good thing because it keeps the parents off the streets. You know what I've wondered? I've wondered how many of our residents have children who have said to them, Mom and Dad, y'all need to stay inside. I mean, just like
Yes.
they
Yes.
were told.
Just
they
like
were,
Yes.
that. Yep.
I bet there's a lot.
I'd love to know if your kids have scolded you to stay inside.
It's a real reversal now,
Yeah,
isn't it?
real
Yes.
reversal.
I know I've done it to my parents.
Yeah.
I have. I've told them, don't you go out? Because my sister lives about 2 miles from where my parents live in Minnesota.
Right.
And I keep telling them, I'm like, my sister, she'll go get your groceries. You don't need to go out. So I've said it. So I'm sure others have too.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They're probably tired of hearing that.
They probably are.
So there's a story about Nero. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do this one. I'll do the other one later. A story about Nero when he was a small child. This is Emperor Nero. As a small child taking violin lessons. And his mom is noticing that he's not practicing very much. And so she goes to the teacher and says, I'm not sure my son is doing a very good job with his violin. Do you think he has any promise at all? And the teacher says, well, I'm not sure, but I don't think he's going to set the world on fire. Okay.
That was good. I like that.
Okay. All right, so now a very, very brief devotional.
Yes.
Fred Craddock tells the story of a man who moved into a little cabin, and it was very sparsely decorated and had a wood stove to heat the place, a little one-room cabin. And winter came along, and he went through his pile of wood that had been outside and didn't have any more wood. So he went outside and started pulling wood planks off the cabin and cutting them up and putting them in the fireplace, and had warmed the place up for a while, but then he'd noticed the place was even draftier. So he went outside and pulled off more boards and cut them up, pulled off more boards, cut them up to burn them, and each time he built a bigger and bigger fire, got warmer and warmer, but after the fire went down, he was colder than ever until he finally froze to death. And the moral of the story is, it's not that odd for us to participate in self-destructive behavior. And you think nobody would be that stupid, but it's not so much a question of intelligence. The physiological parallel to that is an autoimmune disease, where the body, because it's diseased, attacks itself. Okay? So the man was undermining himself and his, trying to stay warm and trying to be safe. He's actually undermining that in the process without knowing it.
Wow.
And the body does that too by attacking lupus and MS and those autoimmune diseases. And I got to thinking about the fact that it's really easy for families sometimes to participate in behaviors that are self-destructive, sometimes for one member of the family as opposed to the others. It's easy for societies to do that. And I think we're watching a little bit of that on TV these days.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be well and to be safe and to have what they need to have, and yet sometimes we participate in behaviors that give us the opposite of that. Yeah, and that's what makes it just a deeper tragedy, that we're not just facing the cause of the problem, but we're exacerbating the cause of the problem.
Right.
And so I'm grateful at River Landing that it seems that we, even as we're trying to adjust to things, we're pulling in the same direction.
Yeah. Right?
For the good of the whole. It's evidenced in the mask controversy. Do I wear a mask? Do I not wear a mask? If you wear a mask to protect other people, and when you don't wear a mask, you're risking the health of other people. So once again, it's this idea of that we can even unknowingly bring about more harm in our attempt to satisfy what we think is important for us.
Right.
Yeah, and Jesus had an answer for that, and it almost sounds like a cliche, but it is to love one another. It's to love one another. And to say it is easy, but to do it is hard, because it means actually putting the other person on equal footing as me, treating them at least as well as I treat myself. And to do that, I have to get out of myself.
Right.
And not just think about what I want and what's good for me. I've got to be willing to consider what's good for my neighbor.
Right.
And what I see is a culture of people under a lot of duress, getting sort of closed in and thinking, I've got to take care of me or nobody's going to take care of me, and I can't bother with anybody else. And the way of love is just the opposite of that. The way of love is being loved enough and free enough to know that God is going to take care of you, and therefore you have that ability to give to other people what they need in their time of need.
Yeah.
That's my prayer for our community, that we choose the way of love.
I like that.
That's great. Thank you.
Yep.
It's funny. I talk to my daughter sometimes about this. She suffers a little bit sometimes from just anxiety and different things. And, I've been telling her, that one of the ways I deal with anxiety, a little bit of depression, is stop dwelling on myself and start thinking about others. And, when you go out and do things for others, there's something magical that happens about that. And, whether it's biblically based or not, I think there's something special when, you've done something nice for somebody else. Right. It brings you out of where you are, not just helping somebody else. And so that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yep. It is the rising tide that lifts all boats.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't just lift yourself. If you're lifting other people, you're going to go up with them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Amen to that. Well, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So is it, I haven't heard the fat lady sing, so is it over?
That's all the series I can do right there. I'm exhausted.
Because I think that was Yogi Bear, wasn't it? It's not over till the fat lady sings.
Right.
Isn't that one of his sayings? I think it is.
It is.
I've always attributed that to him. I don't know if that's his or not. Or is it, it's not over till it's over?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one of those two or both of those.
I think he actually famously said, "I didn't say all the things that I said."
Yeah, it's funny how Yogi Bear, his comments are, you sit there and go, that's like the craziest thing I've ever heard. And you sit
Right.
there and think about it and go, it actually, in a strange way, it makes sense what he's saying, right? So that's pretty cool.
He may have been hit with a baseball in the head at one time.
He
Right.
might have.
Just my theory.
Or maybe hit too many times in the head with a baseball, right? So, well, good deal. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, birthdays, Lisa.
Okay, we have 3 birthdays.
Woohoo!
We have Mike McDonald,
Ah,
John Lennon,
yes.
and Linda Donahue.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, yes.
Happy birthday.
To
I
all
know.
3 of you.
And then tomorrow we have 1 birthday. Since we're not on, we have Jim Morris. So,
Very good.
yep, happy birthday.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to all of you.
Yes.
So, Lisa, I assume we have a
We do. We have a winner. So let me
Okay.
check it out here.
All right.
It's a brand new person.
brand new person?
Yes.
Is it like a brand new winner or a brand new person?
Both.
Like they were just born?
Both. No, they haven't
Wondering what you meant by brand new person.
they haven't been here long, so they're a brand new person to River Landing.
Okay.
I get it now.
And they live up in the hybrids. So
Okay.
So the question is from John Hoyt, and a Target gift card is the winning prize today. What was the original name of Vaseline?
Yes. Isn't it called petroleum jelly? But that's not it, right?
That's what I think a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
The answer is Wonder Jelly.
Wonder jelly.
Wonder Jelly.
Wonder jelly. Yeah.
It's a combination of Vaseline and Wonder Bread.
Ooh. That's kind of nasty. Think about that, isn't it?
Oh. So the winner today is Dick Witt.
Ah,
Yeah.
very good.
So congratulations, and thank you for participating today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Lisa, let's see. We got a couple days left this week, right?
We do. So tomorrow is Brian and Destiny, American Idol. They're announcing the winner, and maybe they'll have the.
Are you going to have the winners
You're
come?
going to have the winner or winners here.
Brian's
Maybe.
maybe not.
Okay, so it may be a short show. I don't know. We'll just go with you're going to find out the winners tomorrow.
That's
Or
the most
winner.
important thing. Yeah.
Right.
And let me just a shout out to the judges again. I thought the judges did a great job.
They were amazing.
And obviously the contestants, too.
contestants.
But
Yes.
the judges just cracked me up.
Yes,
It was
yep.
really good. They did a
And we have no idea who the winner or winners are.
No,
so
we're not being told.
We'll be surprised
I think we
tomorrow
all
as
are going
well.
to find out at 3 o'clock
Yep.
tomorrow.
They're not sharing a word, so
Yes. Yeah.
they're keeping it to themselves. Let's see. And then on Friday, we
Yeah.
have a special guest,
Yeah.
Mary Beth Lynch.
Okay.
Just confirmed today that she's going to be on the show at 3 o'clock with us, and she's going to be talking about the opening of the gift shop.
Oh, right.
I
That's
know.
good
So that
news.
is exciting news.
exciting.
Another amenity that we can open up here. So stay tuned Friday to get all the details, because there is, of course, some differences as when we were
There'll be
open
some rules
before.
and
So
different
there's
things,
yep, some little safety precautions put in there. So
Okay.
yes.
Well, Ken, we decided, I kind of asked Ken if he wanted to do the joke today, and he said
Against
yes.
your better judgment.
He said yes, and I decided I pulled out an oldie but a goodie just in case it doesn't go over very
Yes, it
well.
This is actually a true story.
Oh, well then,
Actually a true story. The Ringley brothers had an exhibit at their circus for many years. This is back in the 30s, I think. And it was called The Peaceable Kingdom. And it was one of those carts that was a animal cage, barred in, people could see it. And it was a lion and a lamb together in the cage. The reference from Isaiah about the peaceable kingdom when the lamb will lie down with the lion. So they had this deal, and somebody approached one of the Ringley brothers and said, how long are you going to continue to have this exhibit? And the response was, as long as our supply of lambs lasts.
Oh. Oh. That's bad.
Okay, let's go to my joke.
Oh, gosh.
All right. I think you'll like this one, Ken. A middle-aged woman had a heart attack and was taken to the hospital.
I don't like that at all.
I was going to say,
While on the operating table, she had a near-death experience. Now, see, that's pretty cool, right?
That's cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Seeing God, she asked, is my time up? God said, no, you have another 43 years, 2 months, and 8 days to live. Wow, great. Upon recovery, the woman decided to stay in the hospital and have a facelift, liposuction, and tummy tuck. Since she had so much more time to live, she figured she may as well look even nicer. After her last operation, she was released from the hospital. While crossing the street on her way home, she was hit and killed by an ambulance. Arriving in front of God, she demanded, I thought you said I had another 40-plus years. Why didn't you pull me out of the path of the ambulance? God replied, my child, I am sorry. I didn't even recognize you.
Oh, God.
oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one was better on that one. Okay, Lisa, that's another show for today.
Okay, very good.
We are wrapped up, and tomorrow will be very exciting with the American Idol announcement, and then we have Mary Beth coming on Friday, so good end to the
rest of the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all stay cool out there.
What do you all think the chances are of next year showing reruns from this season of the show?
Oh, boy.
People would just love to watch that out there.
I'm sure they'd have to be really desperate, or we'd have to be really desperate to show it. However, if you want, you can already do this because we have them all on our YouTube channel right now. So Michelle has caught up, and
She has.
all of May is on there now.
Yes.
So she's going to kind of be doing these as we get them. So the shows will be on there. So, yeah, I mean.
They'll age well, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will.
Just like the lady.
We may have a burning party of all those DVDs at some point, right? So, but we thank you for watching, and we love you, and we hope you all have a great Wednesday afternoon. Bye-bye.